I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Wang, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yes! Yeah, baby!
And welcome back to Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida for continuing coverage of this year's Women's U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association. I'm Jason Bowman. I'm joined by Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, it's been a busy day. We got another round ready to go out here. Fourth round action. A little behind, 4 o'clock round, kicking off about 4:37. And it looks like we're going to have Rachel Lang, who we saw in the, well, we sort of saw in the first round today against Tina Larson. We had some technical difficulties. Rachel from Catskill, New York. And her opponent, Desirey Baker out of Fountain, Colorado. So I believe this is one loss match here. So one of these ladies will be eliminated after this round. The other will continue on. Seen some great play already today. I would imagine we'll see another good match here. Again, this is a race to 5 at this point in the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. Up to 3 games of 8-ball, up to 6 games of 9-ball. We are playing double elimination. That will continue up until the final round, which is an extended race. And the winner of the coin toss will choose either the break or to start in the 8-ball or 9-ball format. So, and I think the ladies are pretty close to ready to go. Looks like they've opted to start in the 8-ball set again. Second match in a row that we've seen that. And again, it seems like traditionally you see the 9-ball set is where they start, but
well,
someone has opted for 8-ball here, so we'll see how that goes. This looks like it is Rachel Lang, the break.
Yeah, I think, if you almost always can pick out a little bit of a favorite in the match. And it seems like to me, the ones that you might consider a hair of an underdog seem to be the ones that maybe, do better in the 8-ball format. So maybe wanting to slow down their opponent a little bit to start with, make it a little bit more of a mental game than just execution. So you'll see some of the ladies start out with 8-ball. I think you'll see more of that as the event goes, to be honest with you. Now, Rachel, I thought, from what I saw her warm up this morning a little bit, and then I really liked what I saw as far as fundamentals and good stroke, moves the ball pretty easy, makes balls well. So.
And I'm glad we get another chance to see her on the stream. We had some difficulties that first round with her and Tina, and Tina won that match 5-2. And I'm sure we'll see Tina again at some point on the stream. But for Rachel, want to make sure she has an opportunity as well, and so you're seeing her.
Yeah, 2 of the ladies that made some of the longer trips, New York and Colorado.
Yep. Rachel's out of Catskill, New York. I'm not sure if I know exactly where Catskill is. I guess upstate New York somewhere.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's the mountains, the Catskill Mountains. So.
And we mentioned she kind of got involved because her mom and dad were involved in playing APA and got her involved in the sport. She's had some success here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Finishing as high as 7th place.
Yeah, she drew a toughie on her first one, the defending
Absolutely.
champion, of course, and a lady that's definitely used to that TV arena here at Strokers.
I will say, though, if I got to play the defending champ, I might want to do it in the first round, too, before they're kind of off and running, a chance to
play
get them early.
You got to play them anyways to win the tournament.
Now we'll get a shot to see Desirey Baker, who we've not seen today. I was going through Desiree's bio.
Yeah, and she really
doesn't. This is her first year here at U.S. Amateur Championship. So, again, another newcomer that we're seeing for the first time, getting some early love on the stream table. So, opportunity for her to do something special here.
And she doesn't really have much to work with in this opening shot. So with Desirey picking the 8-ball, you kind of feel like she's a lady that plays a lot of 8-ball, of course, and probably a little strategy involved. So not the end of the world the way the balls lay out here that she doesn't get an opening shot, because it's going to be very difficult for either player to clear the table.
She wanted to mention J2D Electric for all their support and helping her get to Florida, and she wanted to mention Jose and Sheila for all the support and the lessons, and her boyfriend Homero for all of his support and encouragement. I always love that part. I always love the, you know, the opportunity to thank the people that have kind of helped you along the way.
Yeah,
And she also mentioned Antiques up in Colorado, Corner Pocket, Westward Billiards. She said Colorado has the best pool community, so that's good to hear. Rachel Lang back at the table.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's near Denver, maybe a suburb of Denver.
I think it's near
Colorado
Springs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Colorado Springs.
I was just there over the summer. We went on a little vacation, driving the kids up there.
Beautiful area
oh,
there,
man,
Colorado
it was awesome.
Springs.
Yeah. My wife, she was actually a speed skater, and so she actually trained up there at the Olympic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in the day.
Well, that's
when
cool.
she was a kid. Yeah. She got a few trips up there, and we took the kids by the old site where she used to train and stuff. It was pretty neat.
The Air Force Academy up there, right, in Colorado Springs?
Yeah, their property. It's, I guess that would be north and to the west a little bit, but you could see, man, the immense property that the Air Force Academy has up there.
I've only been there once. I remember they had like these gliders, I guess, that were like training for pilots, and you'd see those things flying around all the time. Pretty interesting place. A little different than what you think of Colorado, too, when you get down to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
A little bit
it's definitely
different terrain down there.
Sure is.
A little more kind of desert mountainy from what I remember.
And try to remember the place we went to, what's it called? The something of the gods.
Garden of the Gods?
Garden of the Gods, yeah. What a place that was. Which I'd been to Colorado Springs before, but, you know, back in the day we thought about the pool hall. Let me go to the pool hall.
Well, she said antiques. I think that's Antique Billiards in Colorado Springs, because we did, years ago, we had an APA exhibition there with Allison Fisher. I think the guy that owns that is Jim Barber. Does that name sound familiar?
Maybe I believe it's a one-of-a-kind pool room, if I remember correctly.
Jim used to play in this event years ago. Was a, you know, I can remember, was a top finisher. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Jim Barber was and probably still is the owner of that place. So.
All right, tough position here. Kind of got against the 9, so I think she can get at the 7. I don't believe the 5 is an option, so a bank on the 7 is about it. Okay, she could just get the bottom of the 7. She'd like to have pocketed that 12 for her opponent, but now Rachel in a great spot. She's really got a couple cupcakes on the 12 in the corner, 9 in the side. That'll lead towards the 14 in the side and the 13 down the table. Excuse me, sometimes I get the 12 and 13 a little mixed up with the colors right here on the screen. Okay, that should be about perfect. She may just have to hold there for the 13 next after the 9. I think she got a little bit of the wrong angle to try and go towards the 13 with the cue ball. She's trying to see if she can take the 14 next, but that may lead to problems. She may just have to hold and take the 13 next and 14 last before the 8. She can make the 14 after the 9, but it'll be a little thin. So she may have to deal with running into the 8 or the 13 up the table. So she may still be doing it. We'll see. Now the table's fairly clear on this end where the 13 and 8 are. So if she did bump it, good chance she'd still come away with a shot. But, you know, anytime you're doing something you're not 100% of the outcome, well, it could be a funny outcome. Oh, she hit that real nice to get beyond the 13 with the cue ball. This lady right here has got a lot of skills, and one thing I always say is when she looks at the table, she looks very athletic when she's swinging the cue. So I always like that. That's a good sign. It's funny, the pool world becomes so small because I look around at just a few, and I was in Houston just a few days ago, and I saw Ernesto. Now he's just right in the building here in Florida, and it's just funny how
Teresa playing here too.
How we all get around the country so easily.
Yep, that's one of the nice things. You know, it's the first we've talked a lot about the first big, at least for us, APA championship in over a year, and it's nice. I've already seen a handful of our league operators. You know, we get used to seeing these people at least once a year, if not a couple times a year. I mean, I haven't seen you face to face since, you know, Moscone Cup in 2019.
Yeah, that was right after the event here.
You know, of course we've done some things online, so I've seen you sort of, but it's nice to see people again, be back with people. It's really.
You and I were raised without the phones and all that, so.
Man, it's nice to be back to it, to some level of normal. Well, Rachel Lang off to a good start, up 1-0 in this match. It's race to 5. Second game of the 3-game 8-ball set. Rachel will have the break.
Now she broke second ball, I believe, in the first break, so should be looking for a full contact on the 14. Nice hit. She doesn't take much time, too. She's very confident, meaning, you know, she addresses it. She's not second-guessing herself too much, which is always a good sign. Now Desirey back at the table with a dry break. Most of the ball's on this end of the table, so it's not about long shots. It's just really about tidy position. Doesn't have the greatest of stripes to start with. She's got a tough shot on the 13 in the corner. It looks like maybe the 9 goes in the corner as well. Maybe she can get the 13 in the side. Now, it looks like she's taking on the corner. Great shot.
Nailed it.
Wow. Center pocket there. Well, that opens up things. I mean, these are very runnable now. Like I said, that's about the longest shot she should have, the one she just knocked in. So making sure she brings the cue ball up towards the 8. Oh, just barely overcut it. Pool's just amazing, you know. She makes such a great shot. It takes everything to be perfect, and then just the small shot, she's just a hair off and hangs it.
I could definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
That sounds more like my speed. Make a good one, miss an easy one.
Yeah, well, you'd be amazed. It's the mistakes in our game. Of course, the pros don't. I say it all the time. We don't do it as severely and as often, but the mistakes are very similar, no matter the levels.
Yeah. Rachel's going to get the bridge out here.
Yeah,
preparation for her shot.
She's going to try and pocket the 5. She wants to pocket the 15 and cover up the pocket at bare minimum, but she's going to try and make the 5 after the 15. Okay. Yeah. Didn't really give us too much time to talk. As soon as she got that bridge set, she was fired.
Yeah. Desirey back to the table here. Trailing by 1 game early on.
Yeah, and of course we never know, and I haven't seen Desirey play much besides this first game, but I think Rachel's, if she gets going, I think she's going to be a lady that you may see kind of do some damage on that one-loss side.
Okay.
I like the way the skills.
She's impressed you early on.
The skill set, yeah, the skill set's good. All right, 14 inside it looks like. Carries the 10 down towards the corner here. Probably the next ball she plays.
Apparently Rachel's sister's tuning in, watching her little sister play. One of the benefits of being able to do live streaming. Folks back home getting a chance to tune in and see their friends and their family members.
Well, she probably plays too. Didn't you say that Rachel's parents also played?
Yeah,
in the
maybe sister
APAs?
plays too. Cassandra Lang.
Okay, she's going to need a little help here. So she didn't come away with much of options. Maybe she can get at the 11. And the good thing about the 11, notice the pink, or actually it's the orange 5 that's near the pocket. It kind of makes the 11 ball a little bit bigger pocket to go into. You don't have to hit it exactly perfect. It's probably the shot she'll lean towards if she can get at it, which I think she can. I think she can get by the 1. Now the 12 is shootable as well, but you can see pretty thin cut there. And the cue ball is going to be going towards the 5. If she makes it, she should be okay, meaning I don't think she's going to scratch. I still like the 11 overall. Okay, here she goes at the 11. Like I said, pretty big pocket, so she's got a little room for error.
There you go.
Just like that.
You called it.
Now she's got the 12. I think the 5 might have bounced up a little bit to where the 9 maybe doesn't play. Good thing is if she can pocket the 12, she'll go towards the 5 with the cue ball a little bit, but that may help her out holding position on the 9. We'll see. Okay, watch out for the scratch underneath the 5 here. Okay, she got there. And got a pretty good shot at the 9.
Desiree also mentioned her coach, and I'm probably not going to pronounce this right, Jose Avalos?
Avalos? Spell it.
A-V-A-L-O-S.
Yeah.
Avalos, Jose
Yeah.
Avalos. Not a name you're familiar with, but
No.
apparently has been a big influence in Desiree's life, in addition to some of the other folks we mentioned earlier.
All right, nice shot. Cue ball's going to come clean, so you can kind of see the 8-ball skills for Desiree, and that's probably why she picked this game. You know, getting off to that lead. Now this is only going to tie it at 1 apiece, but her thinking was if I can get a lead in the 8-ball, even if I'm a hair of an underdog in the 9-ball, a lead really makes a huge difference. So a real nice clear there by Desiree.
With that 8 in the side pocket, we are now tied at 1 game apiece.
I know we're a long way from it, Jason, but what's the distribution of 8-ball, 9-ball in the finals in that race to 7?
I'm sure Kara will momentarily show us.
I should have known better just to ask her.
It's been a
probably,
while.
huh? Yeah.
Race to 9, that's right. Race to 9, 6 games of 8-ball, 11 games of 9-ball, and as we mentioned earlier, single elimination at that point. So it's that extended race. And again, they'll have that tomorrow. Not exactly sure what time. We do go continuous play tomorrow. Tentatively scheduled around 4. If tradition holds, it'll probably be later than that, but if you stick around or you like our Facebook page here, you can make sure you get a notification when new matches begin.
Well, she's in trouble here. This is the some of the unfortunate side of 8-ball sometimes, you know, the different rules we play. And I like the take what you make rule. I think that's a better way to play 8-ball. But you can see she got a little bit of a kiss that made that 1 stripe and then got hemmed up on the bottom rail here. Doesn't really have an offensive option at all. Now the one thing is she could leave the 15 there as much as possible, trying to cover up the pocket for later on. And that she did pretty decent, still keeping the 6 covered up. It was hard to keep her opponent Rachel off of a shot. That was almost impossible. But she just tried to make it as difficult as possible. Rachel played the 4. Looks like she goes by the balls like that. I don't know what else she's going to come away with. Maybe she has a 6 in the upper corner by the 3. She definitely has a thin cut on the 2 ball.
You know, I missed this earlier. I was looking at Rachel's bio. One of her goals is travel around the world playing billiards. So far, she's been to Shanghai, China for the Junior Worlds in 2014 and Taipei, Taiwan in 2018 for the Amway Cup. So she's done some traveling in her young career. I like that jersey type shirt she plays in. You got that graphic of her from this morning? Did a little photo shoot this morning just for the fellas that are coming in tomorrow and we do a photo shoot. You can see some of the stuff we're looking to create, you know. So you can kind of see what, you know, dress to impress tomorrow, fellas. That's what I'm trying to convey to you here when you show up.
Oh, nice shot there, using the 3 as a big pocket. But you can see, like, she's not timid with the stroke at all. She swings the cue, and, you know, that's a confident player, someone that's been playing a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She played the juniors in 2014, you
14,
said?
yeah.
So 7 years ago. So not that long ago, she was competing at the highest level in the junior worlds, which we all can name the list. You know plenty that have played in that and went on to do great things in the pool.
Well, and to be able to travel to China and play over there, I mean, that's one thing I hear from a lot of these young players. You know, they try to go overseas and play. I know I was talking to Tyler Steyer, you know, that year after they won the Moscone Cup, and he was telling me how when he was like 18 or maybe not even, he went over to the Philippines for like, I don't know how long, weeks, maybe months, and just to play pool. Like he told mom and dad, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna get better, and sometimes that kind of commitment's what it really takes to achieve the kind of success that some of these young players want to have. I mean,
yeah, and you know, just seeing other players play and just seeing how well they play, and that one thing for them that you don't have always in your area is other young players that play well.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big inspiration. I took the 10-year-old to a junior league a couple weekends ago. They have on Sundays where I live, and he's just starting to have a little interest in just, you know, when he gets a little downtime from the phone or the Xbox, let me hit a few balls or whatever. And I took him up there, and he saw some juniors had their own cues, really taking it serious, you know, but having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And he really, really enjoyed it. So just being around other juniors that even play just a little better than you, that's inspiring.
Junior program's really taken off here in the last few years. I mean, I know APA's junior program has grown quite a bit. Unfortunately, obviously, we had to cancel the event over the summer. And still trying to figure out this year. Hopefully, you know, we can get back to juniors play soon. But, you know, not just us, but around the country, different juniors tournaments and things popping up, which is great. Again, that's only going to improve the, particularly as it comes to like Team USA and some of those things. The younger the talent, the more they've played, the better off we're all going to be.
Well, everybody likes the kids doing well, whatever they're doing, and having fun doing it. And that junior tour they have going on with 6 or 8 locations throughout the country, which is awesome. I actually teach 1 or 2 of the kids that go to that from Dallas, and man, they really love it. And not to brag on Texas at all, but the Martinez kids from New Braunfels are they're really laying them to waste in
Who's
that junior. Lazaro and Gabriel Martinez, the 2 brothers. Yeah, they both won the last 2 both divisions this last weekend, and right here in Sanford, right outside Orlando.
Keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Those are kids that have been good players, and one of them's, I think, 18 now. The other one's 15, but you ought to see them play at such a young age. Wow, really amazing.
Pretty cool to see some of the, you know, because sometimes you do see these young players turn into these great, you know, like a Justin Bergman. I was looking at a picture of him the other day from when he was like a little kid winning some, you know, major league event where they won like, you know, $15,000 or something, and
Well,
You know, he moves on and he's a Moscone Cup champion and all, you know, all these accolades that come. It's pretty cool to see these guys progress. Same thing with like a young Tyler Steyer or
there's a
Sky
bunch of 'em.
Woodward. I mean, you
The old pictures of Bergman though are the best for me to look at, because he's in the Shane McMahon and, you know, Tyler Strong. There's a lot of those guys, Joey Gray, Chip Compton. You know, a lot of those guys that were right there in the same time frame, and they all had a little size to them. And Justin was just so itty bitty,
tiny guy. Yeah, he's not a big
but
guy.
he was the best player, I think. So
got a big
kinda
heart
crazy.
though.
Yeah, he does.
Bigger game too.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away from anybody on a pool table. Oh man.
Well, and she was in a spot there. She was trying to play safe, and, you know, trying to be a little perfect. Might have got the best of her a little bit there, and I understand that, because, you know, it's hard to play safe in 8-ball when your opponent has a few balls to choose and one hanging in the hole. Hard. So here she has to make a decision. Which one first? Probably, I can't quite tell how the 7 sits on the pocket, but I would probably shoot the 7 first. Try and just pinch the cue ball out towards the 2. Not to get too much of a cut on the 2. You don't want to get too thin, because that always constitutes cue ball movement. So if I shoot the 2 first, I'm real confident the 7's not on the point or something like that. I think the 7 is the shot I like the most, but she's at the table, so she sees all those little things, little angles that we don't quite see on the stream. Still think I like her shooting the 7 first. Yeah, just kind of pull it out. Don't get too thin again. Even if you drew and bumped the 15 a little bit, that's fine. And her concern is the 15. She's like, man, if the 15 wasn't there, I could easily just draw out. But I think her gut instinct is going to take her back to the 7, I think, anyways. And remember, when you're playing pool, a lot of people get involved with perfect, and it's really not about perfect if you want to play your best pool. It's about what's manageable, and then also, you know, you played sports, kind of staying in the flow.
Yeah.
You know, if you get a little out of line, if you're in the flow, that's no big deal. You just get down and make a little bit tougher shot. A lot of people get involved with perfect, and it's really not the type of game that's played perfectly. It's probably why it's such a great game. One of the reasons. There you go. Just bump the 15. Yeah,
wow.
That's it. So she's got to like work the cue ball a little bit, I think. But the problem is she actually got a little straight here on the 2. So maybe she's waiting on another player on the opposite table, I think, maybe to clear. Okay.
Nice.
Nice shot.
Chance to go up 2-1 here for Rachel. This will be the final game of the 8-ball set. Well, they moved through the 8-ball set pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to that last match, very quickly.
Yeah, well, 8-ball, the layout sometimes they're just going to slow you down.
We'll move to the 9-ball set here. Rachel will have the break again. If you're interested in running an APA league or finding out more what it takes to be an APA league operator, you can go to poolplayers.com/league operator. I know some folks out there looking to change things up, depending on what the pandemic did to their work life, upended it for quite a few people. And so if you're out there and you're looking for a new opportunity, that might be for you. A few great markets still out there. My understanding, we're currently talking to some folks in like Singapore.
Awesome.
India was one we were working on prior to the pandemic. So yeah, I mean, it's not just in the States, it's across the globe.
Man, it should be, really. I mean,
I just feel like once we kind of move past this pandemic, and I'm not just talking about APA, but I just really feel like pool in general is going to have a resurgence we haven't seen in a long time because of people's desire to get off of the computer and the tablet and the phone and connect in a real way with people. And, you know, pool is such a great game because you don't have to be the strongest, you don't have to be the fastest, you don't have to be the tallest. You know, it's really open to anybody, and
you can play it till
so
almost the last days of your life.
yeah,
you know,
so it's a very inclusive activity that anybody can do. And so as the world moves a little bit more into a normal phase, I have a feeling, and we've seen this, Jeremy, actually in some of our leagues that have been back for a while, coming back larger than they left off, which was really amazing to me. But folks just want to be able to connect with other people in a more, you know, in a less virtual way, I should say.
Yeah, social and
Yeah.
And like you said, the resurgence of pool entirely is a lot of that has to do with the amateur side, and it seems like the amateur side, not only what y'all were doing, but just in general, is just continuing to grow. So
Yeah, that's good news for all of us, for sure. Somebody asking about the format. They play 3 games of 8-ball, up to 6 games of 9-ball. This is a race to 5. It's one of the unique elements of the U.S. Amateur Championship is you have to be proficient in both formats. 8 and 9-ball. You can't just excel in one and not the other, typically, I should say. Tough to get through this tournament if you can't do both pretty well.
yeah.
And so that's why the ladies are now playing 9-ball.
And then even the pro level, I mean, those guys play all the games well, but there's usually one or the other that they excel a little bit more in. So it's an interesting statistical thing if you could keep it on, you know, have everybody prior, which y'all did. You have them where they announce or they let us know which game they prefer, which game they seem to have better results in. It'd be a great stat to keep.
Yeah. Desirey Baker here, trying to even things back up in this. What do we say? Fourth round?
Yeah,
we're in?
4th round. Yeah, we had 2 rounds of both. Well, the winners of first round, and then round 2 and 3 had a
Elimination
combination
rounds,
of both,
yeah.
I think.
Okay.
And then because I know Teresa played 2 and won 2. So and now we're exclusively on the 1-loss side. 48 ladies, I believe you said.
I believe so. I think it was
Yeah.
48 that ended up showing up. Either 46 or 48. There were 50 that qualified, and there were a few that
Right.
didn't make it for various reasons, which is not uncommon, right, with any tournament, especially the larger you get. Somebody has something come up, can't make it, and, you know, unfortunate for them, but great field here at Strokers in Palm Harbor for the women's division of the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Okay, she's trying to get in that little gap between the 3 and the 4. Is that going to be too much? It looks like it. So maybe a jump cue here because it's an awfully difficult kick shot. She could masse the ball. She goes up in the air with the cue. She could roll the 4 on top of the 2, just conceding ball in hand and making things very difficult for Desirey. That's always an option. Looks like the option she's taking.
That'll be Desirey will have ball in hand there. But like you said, going to have a tough time with the location of that 2 ball. Desirey out of the Colorado Springs area. I think we said Fountain, Colorado is her current residence. I'm guessing that's near Colorado Springs. Based on a number of the locations that she mentioned.
Yeah, did you say it was the library, the pool room? Is that right? No, it's, what's the name of that pool room? It's a real nice one. It's almost like a museum, the place is.
Antique billiards.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what it is.
Antique billiards.
Yeah, and I've only seen pictures of it, actually, but.
Yeah, 2006, we did an exhibition with Allison there, Allison Fisher.
And it was a fairly new pool room at that time, right?
That I don't remember,
I think
but
it
I
wa-
just remember it was definitely a different place. She also mentioned Corner Pocket and West Side Billiards, so. Rachel plays out of B&B. I don't know exactly what B&B stands for, but the B&B Lounge. Maybe her sister will fill us in. Cassandra,
Oh, look at that.
that's your cue to tell us what B&B stands for.
Nice kick shot with a little reward there. A little fluke up in the corner. Now she's got a 3-ball that's very makeable, but she's got to hit it at a light speed to hold for the 4. Nice shot.
I was just watching a replay of that last shot before that one.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's why I really, in this game, I do like the luck counts. They changed the rules in 10-ball to call shot, and I really don't. I'm not a big fan of that at all. I like the you can have some oohs and ahs, you know, with a little bit of that, the luck counts, and so easy to play safe in 1 foul ball in hand 9-ball or 10-ball.
Anytime you see that call shot, especially, I mean, I know for you guys it's always pretty clear at the, you know, at the pro level, but at the amateur level, man, that can really lead to some issues when, you know, when things don't, you know,
when it's not
go
crystal
exactly
clear.
right.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
It can, stands for the owner's last name and his brother, B&B. Okay.
Now here she's got a 2-way shot. She can go for the bank cross side and hold the cue ball behind the 6 just in case she misses. And also have shape if she makes it. So like a medium speed here, like that. Trying to make it. And if she doesn't, well, you can see. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Desiree, that looks like the obvious way to kick is the same path that she shot the bank. But really need to find another route, because if you hit any of the bottom side, or from here it'd be the top side if you're looking at the camera, but the bottom side from where she's standing on the 4, you're going to scratch. Whether you hit a little bit of it, a lot of it, right? So if she could find another route to kick at this ball, it'd be best, but it's very, you know, easy and common to want to follow, like I said, follow the route that she shot the ball in. That would make sense, just to kick to the side rail and across, but like I said, the scratch is looming. So she may look at kicking down here on the bottom cushion, coming up at the 5. A little more difficult hit, you might say, but I think a little more reward. Now the one good thing here is she could kick and cut it right on in. A little long. Wasn't easy. Because I think she probably knew she had to hit the far side of it, or else it was doomed, kind of.
Excellent opportunity for Rachel here to extend her lead. It's a race to 5.
And tournament pool's a funny thing, you know. Like you said, this is has been a while for most of these ladies, and what's going to be the guys here in the next few days. But you can see sometimes, like, you know, the players being like extra careful. You know, you don't want to make that mistake. But also, like I said earlier, you want to stay in that flow as well. So you don't want to be racing around the table, but
Yeah, the rhythm.
yeah, exactly.
stay in
There's a nice
get that-
rhythm, you know, that you practice with, that you play with in most competitions. You're comfortable. So this is early in the tournament still, but that's what the ladies really want to get to. You want to get to that comfort rhythm. That was a great shot there. Now she's got a nice angle just to draw the cue ball back for the 9. And from what I've seen, Rachel should have no issue screwing the cue ball back here with a little bottom English. You see here just checking the arm a little bit. You see that? Just kind of made sure the right arm was had a little juice in it before she got down on the ball. Okay, a little light with the draw, so she's going to be a little thinner on the 9 than she wanted, but I think she's okay. Now she's going to have a stretch coming across that side pocket. So she's not, she knows, so she's just going for the bridge immediately.
Another great audience for a early evening on St. Patrick's Day. Over 400 viewers. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Well, she's really left it tough on a miss here. We'll get another look here in a moment, but I think it's a scratch angle also with Top English. I can't quite tell from there, but it's real close to a scratch in the opposite corner. I'll tell you, that's real close. And you can see she's near the rail, so very difficult to cue down on the ball with draw. I think if she hits it really well, she may get to the bottom rail with the cue ball. But not only a tough shot to make, but now you have to worry about what the cue ball's doing.
Chance for her to even things up here.
Watch out for that lower left-hand corner with the cue ball. I think she may, if she makes it, she may get to the bottom rail with the cue ball.
Well, I think this fourth game is going to extend Rachel's lead.
Yeah, not taking anything for granted. Tell you what,
the
though,
9 in the
when
corner.
she gets down, she don't take long. 1-2, go. 1-2, go.
3-1 lead now for Rachel Lang over Desirey Baker in this race to 5. Rachel will have the break once again. Well, we've got a moment. Want to make sure we thank our sponsors, Action Cues, our friends at Pool Dog, Valley Dynamo, and of course Aramith billiard balls, the premier billiard balls in all of Pool. Appreciate all their support. You know, it's been a tough time for most of our sponsors too. You know, everybody feeling it during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Pool rooms close down and leagues get postponed, tournaments get postponed. People, you know, slow down on buying equipment, and it affects all of us, you know.
Yeah, manufacturers getting shut down.
Yeah, plants get shut down.
Exactly, yeah. So one way or another, whether they want to get equipment to you or they can or whatever, it's just affected everyone.
All right, here we go. Dry break.
Yeah, Desiree with a nice shot on the 1. Again, the 2 pinned back on that bottom cushion a long ways from the 1, so she's got to really open up the stroke to move the cue ball, if she even tries to. She may just make the 1 and elect to play safe on the 2, possibly.
If you're just now tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, just across the bay from Tampa, on the western coast of Florida, the Gulf Coast here.
Yeah, the prettier beaches, I think,
Absolutely.
on this side.
I am a big fan of the, Tough miss there for Desiree, but yeah, definitely a big fan of the western side of the state. Less chop in the waves, nicer beaches, a little calmer water.
Yeah, a little, I think, you know, I mean, it's busy, don't get me wrong, also, but, you know, a little milder pace on this side of the state as well, you know. I mean, it's busy, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to Clearwater Beach this week, it's packed.
There's no bike week over here, though.
Yeah.
I think, wasn't bike week last week or this week?
Oh, was it? Yeah,
bike week in
okay.
Daytona is always
Daytona, yeah. Because I lived in Jacksonville for 2 years.
Yeah,
oh, watch out, cue ball. So,
Yeah.
actually, a friend of mine, were talking about bike week just a couple weeks ago, and
that's a crazy.
it was pretty neat. I never really went to it, but I drove through and saw some of the stuff when I lived in Jacksonville. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But down south, you know, Miami, Fort Walton Beach, and all that's real busy.
Oh,
You know, busy area.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Tough to park places. I hear they got quite the spring break going on down there. Of course,
I'm
if you watch
sure.
the news, they've had some a little too much spring break, it sounds like.
Oh, I haven't got a chance to see that part of it, but
don't bother. Don't turn on the news these days.
Yeah.
Stick to watching pool on the APA Facebook page. You'll be a happier person.
There you go.
You will be a happier person.
Well, I'm lucky. I still love pool, so it's fine by me.
I tell you what, I had to stop watching the news there for a while. It was
yeah, pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Focus on the positive instead, like what's happening here at Strokers this week.
Okay, we're going to see where that ends up. It looks like maybe a cross-side bank. I don't think it really cuts in the side. Of course, that's where the cameras can really fool us on shots like this. But, you know, I wouldn't doubt she just gets right down and makes it in the side. Looks like she's going to play safe, maybe. Bring the cue ball back behind the 5. Try to.
Yeah.
Well, I think Desiree's got an opening now. I'll tell you, a lot of tables are clear, so the ladies are playing well. Match is going fast.
Mm-hmm. Phil, so the decision on what format to start with comes from the players. Typically, there'd be a lag. In this case, this year, we're doing a coin toss. And the winner of the coin toss gets to take either the break or they get to choose the format of 8-ball or 9-ball. So that is how it's decided. I would say more oftentimes than not, the player that wins the coin toss or the lag takes the break, and the person that did not win picks the format. But sometimes that's different. It's not always the case. But I would say, I don't know, 85% of the time, if I was guessing.
Something like that. I mean,
they take the break. They don't want to give up that break.
Well, you kind of just, you know, the last thing you want to do is have the option to break and then pass it and then not get to shoot in that first game. That's like the ultimate thing that you don't want to happen.
Right.
So
that would be demoralizing.
Yeah. And then guess what? You might not get to shoot in game 2 either.
Yeah.
So now she rubbed the 6 just a little bit. Did that close the pocket for the 6 going by the 9? And now she has to maybe play a combo because the 6 did go before. If the 6 still goes, she's perfect. And it just makes the 6, comes on the left side of the 7. It's just uber tight, it looks like to me. I mean, without being able to really see it. Now, I do think it goes. Just something tells me it does still go. It's just awfully tight. Now, you can see that great camera work right there, though, that the 6-9 was lined up like perfect. And that's, you know, why take a maybe when you can get the win right here?
Mm-hmm.
Combos are a little bit of a maybe, but I like her chances. Yeah.
Wow. Puts her on the hill.
Yeah.
4-1.
And Rachel doesn't mess around. Once she decides what she's going to do, she drops down. It's a 1-2 skidoo. I'm shooting. I'm firing.
Well, she's going to have a chance to put this match away. This next rack, Desiree will rack them up. Rachel had the break.
Four to 1. believe our next round is at 5:30. This one may be just a few minutes behind. Now, look at the 9 ball. So Desiree definitely got a shot to get back on the scoreboard.
She go for the combo here?
The kiss shot, you play the cue ball off the 1 and play the cue ball into the 9. The combo's a little thin. So this one she can kind of roll Jason and just come across the left side of the 1 and try and play the cue ball into the 9.
All right.
You could play, technically, you could play the combo, but
yeah, no, it makes more sense what you're saying. You come off the 1 into the 9 into the
this one just sits a little more natural on the kiss shot. Some people call it a carom shot or a billiard shot.
Don't be afraid to use that other ball.
That's right. She needs to hit it light. If she hits it hard, she probably misses it like most would. But if she hits it light, I like her chances. It's just got a little much of the 1 is all. Nice safety, though. I'll tell you that. And you'll see she may pull the jump cue out here, but I like the long rail kick. If I'm Rachel, this is something she's definitely done a lot of, playing 14 years and as well as she plays. So I like her chances of kicking long rail between the 2 and 6.
Somebody's asking about Rachel's skill level. Offhand, I don't know that. Again, we don't use any kind of handicap here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. It's just straight up play. So most of the players here, however, higher rated, you know, 6, 7, and 8 ball, 8, 9, and 9 ball. Again, I don't know about her.
Oh, great shot. Great shot. I'll tell you what,
that one in the corner.
She kissed the 9 into position, too. If she can bury this long 2 ball, could be an early winner on the 3-9 to end this match and advance. Now watch when she gets down. She doesn't take very long down. It's 1, 2, and then she's usually shooting. I think she took a little too much time. I'm joking. All right, Desiree has played a little on the safe side when she had a choice. So maybe she knocks the 2 away here and brings the cue ball back behind the 4 and the 8.
Needs to make something happen here. Running out of time.
Yeah. Well, she's sizing up the bank. And that's probably because she can see a 3-9 combination if she can knock this bank in.
Rachel's a skill level 6. Somebody tuning in all the way from Guam. You ever been to Guam?
I have.
Have you really?
I have.
Nice. Oh, you've been some places. I always think I've been some places, but man, you've been to Guam?
A few times actually, because just layover. I used to fly Continental all the time, and going to Japan, they'd go to Hawaii and then stop in Guam for about 6 hours, and then on to Japan.
Nice.
So I've been through there a few times. I wanted to stay.
Yeah,
it looked like a neat island. It's only about 13 miles long, the island is, and then I believe it's Saipan that's right next to it, another island out in the middle of the Pacific, just kind of hanging out. Them 2 islands just out there in the middle of nowhere, but
Rachel, ooh,
man,
pockets that 2, almost kicked that
9
in
ball,
there.
yeah. But she really got a lot of power.
Confidence too. She looks like a confident shooter.
And that's what I mean, not knowing her, just seeing her, what I think is her skill set. I think, and this might be a lady that she gains a little confidence and a little more time at the table through that 1 loss side. She could be somebody to reckon with. Now she's still got to win this match, being up 4-1. But of course, the commentator jinx right away. Never fails.
Never fails. I've won more matches with the commentator jinx than I have with the cue in my hand.
I believe it. Well, I think after this match, I got to go check out what's going on out back just to see it real quick.
Yeah, the tent, everything. I hear it stays pretty busy today. I was only out there once, but
no, the guys up front said it was pretty packed.
Yeah.
So. All right, so a little work here. Now she held a nice angle to draw the cue ball up the table for the 5. She can go to either side of the 9, just depends on what she wants to do. Then you can see the rest of the work is down here on this end with the 6, 7, 8. She'll have to work the cue ball back up for the 8 to the 9, but first things first, let's get a clear shot at this 5. Don't lose the cue ball somewhere. It's going to get a little bump. It's probably going to be okay, though. Now, did the 9 get to where she can't make the 4, but she can't make the 9 either? Sometimes them balls just don't listen, I'll tell you. It's real tight.
Again, this is a race to 5 here at the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. We are at Strokers, which is in Palm Harbor, Florida, just outside of Tampa, just across the bay. If you've ever been down here in this area. This room is owned by Jose Del Rio, pool player himself. We'll see him in a couple days when the men's division begins. Very popular pool room here in the Tampa area. Has hosted the U.S. Amateur Championship since 2009. You can see the banners that hang up. Of course, we were at the old Strokers. There was another location for when we first started out, a couple years that we were there, and then we moved over here, and it's been a great home for us for this event.
Well, I can see why.
Such a beautiful part of the country and just a great facility here. The stars just kind of aligned.
Nice shot. Now Desirey letting the stroke go a little bit, loosening
ready to
up.
go home.
Yeah.
She's not ready to go to the beach. She wants some more of that Freddie shrimp.
That's just tight to the pocket, but it's okay. If she can make it, come up to the center of the table for a little cut shot on the 8, which really helps get on the 9. So one thing at a time here. Nice shot. Perfect. Perfectly struck. Perfect speed. Now again, all about the make. Position's pretty natural. The angle's going to carry you back down the table. Just watch out, don't lose the cue ball in one of them corners. Mainly the one she's standing over. Oh, nice shot. Perfect speed again. So we're going to see more of Desirey, I think. Here, what will be, game number 8? Is it 4-1 now? Is that right? It's about to be 4-2. Can't curse her from here, can I? Can't put the jinx on her from here, I don't think.
It just depends on what you say. I think the way you phrase it is safe.
Then.
I think the way you phrase it is safe.
Okay.
You said it would be. It would be. And now
nice shooting, good out.
Now it's 4-2.
Yeah.
Rachel still with a lead.
She made a nice out from the 4 there to the 5. Made a long shot on the 6. Moved the cue ball for the 7. So that's got to feel good if you're Desirey. Get the arm moving a little bit more.
She'll have the break here. Opportunity to control the table.
All right, looks like there's some winter side matches going on in the next round. Is that right?
Let's take a look at CompuSport.
Because I see Jeannie Seaver over there, and I haven't got to see her play yet, but she's playing on the table next to the stream. I guess table 2, I'm suspecting.
Yeah, it looks like 4:30 round or 4 o'clock round did have winner's side. Stacy Barbeau.
The 5:30. This
Sonia
would be the
Shabib.
5:30, I think.
We're at the 5:30 now. So the 5:30, yep, there's some winner side from the 5:30 as well. Lisa Cosette, Billy Joe Smith. Who were you asking about?
Jeannie
Seaver.
Sievers,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's a good player from down here in Florida. Yep,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
on the winner side playing Tony Tucker currently.
Yeah, Jeannie, I've known her because I lived in Jacksonville in 1999 and 2000. That's when I met Jeannie on because they had those tours, those Florida tours,
Yeah,
of men and women's.
yeah.
And, man,
You were in Jacksonville in '99, 2000, huh? You were
Mhm.
right up the road from me. I was in
Right.
Gainesville,
in college,
University of Florida. Yeah. Spent some time in Jacksonville. I actually thought I was going to be working in Jacksonville initially. A
Yeah.
big PR firm there called Cook Communications.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
Right there downtown Jacksonville. That
I actually went over to Gainesville a bit whenever you were there.
Yeah,
What was the
it's a
name of
good
the
town.
pool room that there was an upstairs pool room that a guy owned?
upstairs pool room.
Yeah, it was a real nice place.
I don't know.
No, actually, that wasn't in Gainesville.
Is
That
in
was in Ocala.
Okay,
Yeah,
a little further down the road.
yeah, a little further. But I went to both Gainesville and Ocala
Yeah.
quite a bit. So,
Fun town.
oh yeah.
Drove through there on the way down here. Made the long drive down from St. Louis.
We were talking about that. I think.
Alligators right there on campus at the university.
Oh yeah.
'Cause it's the Gators. University
Yeah,
of
of
Florida's
course,
the Gators,
yeah.
and right there on campus, yeah, they got lakes with alligators in them. Kind of
Well,
a
I
rare
was
thing.
raised around alligators.
I love
where
'em,
where
yeah.
I'm from. So.
Little dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to, we had a few places, hangouts in high school where everybody went and parked their cars on Fridays and Saturdays and hung out. And one of the properties, it was a street and steel fence line on both sides, and just both beyond the steel fence line were just hundreds of alligators
Ooh.
on both sides.
Stay
yeah.
away from there.
Yeah.
Don't have too many drinks and start playing around there.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster. All
Yeah.
right. Let's see.
Well, the east side of Houston's a very marshy,
They
kinda-
got gators in Houston, huh?
well, I'm from
In Houston
Baytown
area?
and to Anahuac to the east of there,
Okay.
yeah. Bunch of gators.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of similar in Gainesville. It's swampland up there, gator country. Certain
Yeah.
places you can go and see just dozens of them on the banks.
Yeah, well, great shot, little breakout. She's going to get that gap now to get a little look at the two. And
Yeah, she did.
when I lived in Jacksonville, I played a lot of golf during that time, and they had these retention ponds all over Jacksonville,
Mhm.
and
They find their way into those, don't they?
they sure do. But we'd be on the tee box, and there'd be 8, 9, 10 footers just sunbathing on the back of
Yeah.
the tee box. So you're teeing off like 30, 40 feet from these 8, 9, 10 footers, and they aren't messing with you. They're just
No,
sunbathing.
as long as you don't
but
mess with them.
Yeah,
Stay out of their
you're
water,
good.
though, especially during mating season.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine come visit from Texas, and we went and played golf, and he just saw the gator sign. He didn't even see the gator, and he hopped in the cart, and that was it for him. He went right on back to the clubhouse. So.
Funny.
Yeah. All right, jump shot maybe, easy kick if she wants it. Yeah, I think you don't want to disrupt the 4 or is that the 5 and the 9 that's kind of like clustered
up in
there.
the middle.
Yeah, you want to keep that together if you're Desiree here, and just try to play the kick shot. Nice shot.
It did not work out quite the way she had hoped, I don't
No,
think.
it was touchy. Anyways, I'll tell you, Desiree had, like I said, she ran the last 6 balls or something, and a nice out in the last rack. Now she's got a nice starter on the 2. 3's near, 4's near, 5's a little funny, but if she can manage that, you can see the 6, 7, 8, 9 pretty open. So I know it's those cliches are awful, but they're so true. Just one ball at a time. Here, I think she could get it to 4-3 now and put a little pressure on Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bounce off the rail a little bit. A little straight, but still manageable. Looks like she's got to go forward here. Maybe play on the short side of the 4, I'm not sure. Maybe just go past it like that. Yeah, take a little cut or a little bank. So I think she's starting to get a bit more comfortable as well, it looks like to me, Jason.
You know, like you said, she can take this game.
Yeah.
Rachel start feeling a little bit more pressure, and
Great
nice.
shot. Nice little,
Clears up that.
yeah, bust that open a little
9.
bit.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure. I think the 8 has got her cut off maybe for both pockets. It cuts off the side just enough and maybe cuts off the corner just enough. It's real close. Definitely the side is not an option. So I think maybe she has the corner, but not only a tough shot, but very, very difficult to get position on the 6. She can't quite just roll the 5 forward and put her on the back of the 8 for a simple safety either. So kind of stuck in a spot to where she's forced to shoot. She may just roll it and try and stay in between the 7-8 for shape. Good effort.
Well.
And she did hold shape. Just tough shot. Wasn't anything easy about that.
It's all out there now for Rachel.
And she's got to move the ball a little bit. Call that short side position right there, Jason. She's a little straight, so she may have to draw this ball back and take the 7 on in the lower left-hand corner. As the 7 doesn't pass the 9, you can see great camera work there. She's a little straight on the 6. So it's weird. Before you knew how to play pool, you would think straight is exactly where you want to get on every shot, right? But now that we know a little bit about pool, straight is like almost the worst you can do sometimes. But
She brought it back just like you said.
yeah, and that's a good decision. She's talented. Make sure you get a good shot at the 7 and work from there.
All right, so this is probably the difference maker, right? A 7 ball.
Yeah, she's a little off angle again though, so she's falling a little to the side of the 9. So she's gonna have to stun this a little and probably play the 8 in the side. That's what I would. Yeah, just kind of where she's looking now. She's not gonna get a great shot on the 8, I don't think. But she can get a good, decent shot on the 8. Just draw by the 9 a little bit. Main thing is still make the 7. Man, she's
No
a straight.
problem.
She's a straight
Wow.
shooter. Yeah.
Wow.
She is a.
Very nicely
I don't
done.
know how they say it in the APA all the time. A dead eye,
Yeah.
I guess you might say. Very natural.
Chance to finish this up and advance.
She'd like to get right where she's at with the cue ball now. That kind of tells her what the angle's doing. So just a nice medium float shot to the rail coming back over. She ran a little far, but she's got the corner. Now we'll see if she fires this one in. This is the type you want to hit a little lighter speed to kind of use the pocket a little bit.
Rachel Lang on the 9 ball here for the win.
Yeah, probably
To
rolls
advance.
it. No, she fired it pretty much.
Nailed it. No problem for Rachel. She is moving on. Desirey Baker, unfortunately, is headed home, but still a lot to be proud of, making it here to Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely. And she started to show her game a little bit. You know, it's just she'll be back, I'm sure of it.
So we will see more of Rachel to come. Again, Desiree's heading home, and 4 o'clock round is in the books. We should be back, or at least Jeremy will be back shortly. I'm out for the rest of the day, and then we'll be back at it again tomorrow. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay tuned to the APA Facebook page for continuing coverage of this year's Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Thank you for tuning in.